Hello, my name is Shubham Patel. Today I am going to present about a real-time streaming protocol and a real-time transport protocol. These two protocols are used generally for the data streaming like about audio signals and video signals via transport and application layer. RTSP signal is used to send the signals to the server to control and which kind of data and control about whether to pause a video, play a video, or to terminate the video. On the other side, the real-time transport protocol is used to stream the data reliably and sequentially. So here is the pictorial representation of a server-client model. First of all, the client is going to send a HTTP GET request to the web server. The web server then responds to the client. Further, when the response came, the streaming of the video have started. Initially, the client requests the media server to set up the connection. After the setting up the connection, media server starts playing the starts setting up the video. Afterwards, when the client requests the media server to play the video, the media will send the packets sequentially, RTP packets sequentially via the transport layer reliably with the timestamps and other information included in the header. These signals, which is setup, play, pause, and tear down, these are the four kind of RTSP signals, which are used to control the stream of RTP streams. So basically, RTSP is used to control the data streaming of audio and video signals, where and RTP used in connection while playing and streaming an audio on internet. So this is a RTP header, which includes the sequence number, timestamps, payload, and other information regarding the synchronization. So the sequence number is incremented every step when when a video is sent by smaller frames. Video includes too many smaller pieces of images and audios, which are mapped to a specific sequence number and a timestamp. Whenever a successful uh, passing of passing of audio and videos packet, then the sequence number will increment automatically. The RTP header is responsible for sending an audio and video signals. Timestamp and synchronization packet are used to synchronize and send the data send make sure that the each and every point and packet of video are sent successfully to the client. So this is the RTP header payload, which includes payload, sequence number, and timestamp, and some miscellaneous fields. So now let's focus on the code. So here the code is differentiated in a client in two parts, which are client and servers. The client part is used to synchronize and set up the client set of RTP and RTSP. On the other hand, server is also set up. So first of all, let's focus on client launcher. So in this streaming, I have included some libraries which includes Tinker clients. The Tinker is used for graphical GUI, graphical user interface. So whenever this code is run, it accepts four kind of arguments. The first argument is the server address, which is the computer itself, because in our example case, the client and server are sitting on the same IP addresses. So this is the server address. Another argument we will mention is port number, which corresponds to the server, RTP port number, and a file name, whether it is the original video file which we want to stream. This file name will be sent to server. Next, if you focus here, now the client function is called. So this client function will set up each and every needed thing, which is responsible for the two-way communication. Here in this header, there is a class called client which includes all the parameters initialize, ready, playing state, setup, play, pause, and tear down, which are used by client for the RTSP protocol. So these are some definition to initialize the protocol. And the next step is create widget. This is a function basically to build a GUI, graphical user interface, so that we can user can easily, by his understanding, can control the flow of video streaming. And if we want to stop, he can stop at any time. He want to play, it can play anytime. So these are the four main thing which I have included in my setup, which is a setup, then a play, pause button, and tear down. Play button is used to continue and stream the video. Pause button is used to pause the video button, and tear down is to terminate the video streaming. So let us examine setup button. So the setup button, these are all dimensions mentioned about the setup buttons. So next we will end up, whenever the setup button is called, it is pressed, it will call a function called setup. So here is the definition and function call for each of every needed parameters, which are setup, exit, pause, and play. So this, after setting up the movie, the whenever the setup button is pressed, the RTSP request will be sent to the RTP packet. Similarly, in the case of exit, pause, and play, listen RTP are also mentioned here. So here is the listen RTP. So whenever server is providing something, we need to listen. So after setting up, we will define a function which listens to the RTP. This RTP socket is residing at the client side. Whenever the server is sending a RTP packets which are requested by clients, these are listened by client itself. I am assigning the RTP socket receiver at 20480, which is socket number to which we are listening. Next, whenever this, when the RTP packet is received, it is broken down into, it is decoded by this function, which is RTP packet. So let's analyze RTP packet function. This is RTP packet class. Okay, it will basically basically decode whatever RTP packet is received by server. So these are the header fields, which are these are all header fields which includes the timestamp, sequence numbers, and self headers. These are all decoded and are adjusted and received by our client. So coming back to our client launcher, client function. So this RTP packet is basically decoded, and this decoded packet includes payload, which is basically a video and audio file. This audio file is visible in our graphical user interface. Afterwards, a sequence number is captured by the RTP packet, and next acknowledgement number is sent to the server for the request of next set of images and audio files. Later on, after the streaming of the video is completed successfully, if the teardown message is pressed by the graphical user interface, then the teardown acknowledgement will be sent to the server, saying that the further no video streaming is needed and to cut down the connection. Afterwards, the connection RTP socket is shut down and it is closed. So to set up the connection again, we have to again set up from the scratch. So now next we will discuss about the how HRA server is working. In this, it will tear down the RTSP signal which is sent by the client side. It will fulfill its requirement and which are the requirements of client, whether it want to pause, setup, or to tear down the video. So this request will be broken down into chunks. Uh, First of all, the request is splitted from the client that which kind of and what is the location of the video which it want to get displayed on his screen. So first of all is the file name. Then as the RTSP goes forward, it will send the sequence number of its sequence number so that it can properly communicate with the server. Further, if the request type is of setup, if client is requesting to set up the connection, this conditional will be fulfilled. Further, if it is now a setup request has been sent, so it wants to initialize the connection. So the server will fulfill its requirement and starts the connection between and start sending the RTP signals to the client. Further, if it wants to, this is the condition. If the client wants to play the video, after the setting of the video, the play option is also provided in graphical user interface. So this, if this kind of request is sent by RTSP, it will play the video. Either it will pause the video and either it will tear down the video. When the client side is sending some request to set up the connection, it's the server's job to set up the connection and to send the RTP stream of data to the client. So this function will fulfill the requirement of sending the RTP connection, RTP data stream to the client. Before that, it will start make the RTP packet. This packet will include the video and audio file, uh, tie up together as a payload with a required uh, with the required header and its size as RTP packet. Once the RTP packet is set up, it will be sent to the client side. It will be sent to the client side, and as the client received that packet is a small chunk of video and audio file. Further, again the sequence number of next set of packets and a set of packet of image and audio file will be sent. That request will also be fulfilled by RTP and the server side. So this will be continuous unless and until the pause button is pressed by the client side. Once it changes its RTSP connection, RTSP stream, that accordingly to that the RTP socket will respond. RTP side of server will respond according to the RTSP side of client. So now let us actually run the code and see how it is working. So this is the client side in a terminal, and this is the server side of the terminal. So here I have initializes the client launcher.py and mentioned the server IP address as localhost as it resides on the same computer, 1000 as a server port number, and 101 which is RTP port number. This is the name of the video file which I want to stream on my device. On the other hand, this is the server side of our RTSP protocol. This is the server side. Server side initializes its own port number as 1000. So first of all, I will run the server side as it will listen to the client if any response occur. The server is now listening to the client and responds accordingly to the client. Now let us run the client side of the. So client side have successfully executed, and now this is the graphical user interface is visible clearly. Now I will send a RTSP signal to set up the connection. So this is the setup connection. One as on the server side, it is listed that which kind of file it is wanting to set up, which is movie.mjpg. Further, when I send a RTSP packet of to request to play the video, it will start playing the video. So this is the list of sequence number which is continuously framed and captured by the client side. This is streaming by the server side. Now, if I pause the video, it will send a RTSP signal to the server to pause the video. Now, at this point of time, it is processing the pause signal by not sending and by holding down the image sequence which are sent by RTP. Further, if I start playing it, the video will be continued. And now the video has been end. I will tear down the connection.